But she said sit. What? That's not my fault. Well.
Ooh. It's a chilly, rainy day in the canyon, John.
It is chilly. Even with this hood and sweatshirt on, I'm still cold, to be honest.
So we got the snowplow behind us.
No, that sounds kind of...
It's a little tip of the cap to the northeast.
Yeah, seriously, we feel for you.
Yep. All right, John. We're underway here, and I got to tell you right off the get-go.
Talk to me.
I'm doing a lot better than the investors for QuadrigaCX are doing today, John. Do you know who the investors of QuadrigaCX are?
I have zero idea.
Well, guess what, John?
Are you going to tell me?
Oh, I'm absolutely going to tell you.
Good, I want to know.
Apparently it was a Canadian cryptocurrency investment entity.
Okay.
And the 30-year-old CEO died somehow, unfortunately. And when he died, he had the only password to $190 million in investments that were all secured through this cryptocurrency company that he was the CEO of. Yeah.
So is this money, I mean, obviously maybe there's more that happens, but is this money like locked down for eternity?
The company's going into some creditor protection thing with the court systems and all that they're saying they have no way to access any of this $190 million and it's just lost because he was the only person that had the password to it.
And like that's the whole thing, right? That's the whole thing about the cryptocurrency. Like you can't break in and get it, so it's lost.
Yeah,
Jeez. What a great story. Wow.
So what about your week? Did you lose $190 million? Sean?
I didn't even come close. I didn't even lose $90. I didn't really do a whole lot this week, again, which is getting to be a horrible trend, let's be honest. But I did do, I'm starting to do something a little different. I go for these walks.
Took a little walk around the neighborhood.
And I do. And I went to the grocery store, and yesterday, I walked to the grocery store before the Super Bowl. And I took some photos along the way.
You got some pictures.
Yeah, I thought I'd do something a little different. Show the people around the neighborhood that are around here.
Some interactive media.
I'll see what goes on. It's not going to be loud. So I saw this little cute little dog. This woman was walking her dog. I put the little hoodie on. How cute. This is birds and some the Daily Planet's right around the corner. It's a nice little strip of restaurants. It's actually pretty nice. This was up. I thought it was kind of funny. Be a good neighbor, clean up after your dog. People still don't clean up after the dog, truth be told, but it's a nice little sign. It was pretty nice. I don't know, you must have this in your community. I thought this building was interesting, the way it's put together. I don't know. I thought something interesting to look at down the street on Franklin. It was raining. You can't really tell. I was showing some palm trees, palm leaves that are dead that people don't know. I didn't even see that damn wire. But those are about 4 feet long. Those are pretty big.
Some award-winning
This is called, yeah, I know. This is called Siesta Yoga. I don't know anything about it, but I was like, oh, what an interesting name. Siesta Yoga. You sleep through it? That could be some yoga I do.
I guess.
This you can't really see. This is a horrible picture. So we're not even going to talk about it. It's an old, you can't see anything. Oh, that was it. All right. Well, see, there you go. That was my whole walk. It was amazing. I didn't even get the last photo. The dog's back. What was that photo? That was a horribly dark photo. And everything. Hey, look, it's birds again. Hey,
those were your photos, John.
How nice. Why does it keep going in circles? There we are. Holy goodness. Yeah. The last one was horrible. I didn't know you put that one in. Maybe I sent you the wrong one. I sent you the wrong one. Then it's okay.
That's a little tasty.
There you go. There you go. Right? Just a little something. It was raining. You couldn't really tell. See? It makes for great laughs. That's why I did it. Give you something extra. You're welcome. You're welcome. That last one, I could tell you what it was, but you wouldn't do you any justice because we can't just pull it up and look at just one photo.
It was fucking anywhere you was in. It was an intersection.
It was, yeah. So let me show you. So, okay, if it's going to come back here, I'll walk you through it again. I don't want to take too much time. So basically what it is there's a gas station there, and it's walled off. And behind the gas station, in the camera, it looked a lot different. You could actually see a house behind there, the roof of a house, which I don't know what I was thinking to show you guys. But it was the roof of a house where I actually used to I had dorm-style living. And dorm-style living is where you share a house with far too many adults, and you share a room with far too many adults. And I wanted to show that, but the photo didn't do it justice. And that's great. We can come off the photos. Now, we don't have to watch them anymore. I'll stare at the camera and take this one in the face. I'm just saying, Just trying to mix it up a little bit, do something different. Look at my friends here helping me out here with laughter. You should see Andrea. She's giggling over there, too. Yeah. It's all right, though. If I'm the one who's got to bring the laughter, I'll bring the laughter. What about your week there, buddy boy? You didn't take any photos? I haven't seen you present any photos on here. Could have put a picture of that bear you had that one time. Come on, this is live, bro. You're crackling the speakers here. I can't cover for you too much longer. Here. Oh, here, everyone. That'll calm me down.
One of the other things John got into this week was Max's Fight Club.
Oh, yeah, the Fight Club.
Jacob's running right at him. Kind of what you got to do to bring the down this one. You can't
fight against the Godfather.
You just got to fight him straight up. Hope for the best. J-Hope's putting up a little bit more of a fight than I thought. I thought this would have been over by now.
The Godfather, the heavyweight on the left, is one of our standing champions at Max's Fight Club.
He's phasing the Godfather. Godfather's just unable to land a punch.
Starting to get some griping from the Hode. He's taking a hard beating from the
Godfather.
Godfather.
That's the Hode.
I had to give it back a little bit. I got a little angry right here. I missed him.
I thought you had a chance there towards the end.
Right here. I had him really.
You had him on the ropes.
Yeah, my thumb was so tired.
You got hit so hard, the Godfather had to shake it off.
Hell, you got George.
I can't believe both these guys.
I wish you would have finished your sentence, truth be told. I can't believe these two guys, and then it stopped. I wanted to hear what you were going to say, and then it ended too soon.
That's just a highlight there from Max's Fight Club.
It was fun.
John joined us this week. What did you think of the Fight Club?
It was actually a lot of fun, to be honest. I actually wanted to, my biggest gripe was I wanted to get into a fight while I was standing on the sideline watching people fight. I wanted to get in a fight with the guys that I was next to.
Oh, you can't do that. You gotta.
Well, of course not. I didn't.
I
didn't do that, but I wanted to.
Fight Club.
I so badly wanted to just get in the fight, just to fight, because everyone's fighting. It was a lot of fun, though.
So it hasn't been confirmed, but I believe there's different moves that you can pull off.
I don't know. I don't know how to do the headbutt. There's kicking.
Well, the stick and all that. So the punch buttons and all that are basically the same, but the stick motions, I think, trigger different animations and things like that.
Oh, I kept trying to step back to dodge, so they would swing, and then I would come in with a follow-up, but I couldn't really do it consistently.
Hey, so I just realized something here, John.
What's that?
Andrew, can you take off the join the show button here? I got to change the graphics because we've shortened it up here. If you do want to join the show, it's actually gridfam.com/just Gratwick now. Well, Gratwick, not just walked myself off the cliff on that one, John.
So it's like that, but it ends at Gratwick.
Yes.
You don't need the Prod Inc.
So
there, just tell them. No Prod Inc. needed.
So no Prod Inc. You're not going to get there if you do that. It's gridfam.com/Gratwick. But let's just take it off the screen altogether there because I'll just give it out there a few times. We don't want people trying to jump on there.
How are you doing today?
Yep, we're taking that down. There we go. Boom. Down off the screen. Let's get this show rolling here, John.
Don't get caught on that light bulb.
So, John took a beating in Fight Club.
I wouldn't say a beating. I thought it was a pretty good fight. I thought it was pretty even.
He did go 1-2. He took down the Fight Club host, Max, who actually is Max of Max's Fight Club.
Yes.
John, being a complete bum for a first-time guest, goes and beats up the host. You're not supposed to win that fight. You're supposed to throw that one, take it.
Oh, I almost lost. You should have seen my health. It was down to nothing. It was probably one punch to either of us. I was so glad I won.
You got to pay your dues to Max.
I did. I lost to the Godfather. That should be my initiation.
Well,
that dude was huge. You see how big that guy was?
Yeah, He was
a big boy.
He's a big boy.
Big boy.
So if you want to see last week's Max's Fight Club, you can go to Gratwick Gaming on Twitch, on YouTube. It's also on our Gratwick Productions Facebook page. Mm-hmm. Every Friday, fight goes on. If you add that guy, that Max guy 15 on PlayStation, he'll invite you into our secret location. Yep. I scouted out a sweet cave for this week's Fight Club, John.
You did.
It is.
You showed it to me.
I did show it to you.
I liked it.
Yeah.
It was interesting to get to.
The cave has a window out to the sunlight that only exists from the inside.
Well, it's like a one-way mirror.
That's a good explanation for it, John.
Right, you can't see it from the outside, but it shines through and it shines in. It's real interesting. I wish you had a screenshot of that. We should have shown the screenshots.
That
could have been one. Yeah, why didn't you think of that?
Well, we'll have it next week after we've done Fight Club there.
Yeah, for sure. Hopefully we get a couple more people to join the Fight Club. A couple of the guys we roll with.
For sure. Well, you don't have to keep cutting to the Fight Club graphic because every time that does, the chat below me has to reload over again.
I don't even know if the time was right on that. It's at noon Pacific.
Oh yeah. That was the initial Fight Club graphic at the time. I hadn't adjusted on that. That was stop pulling that one up.
That's okay.
Moving right along here.
Yeah. Dun, dun, dun.
The Super Bowl was this week, John.
It was this week.
And deja vu, Patriots won again.
And the team I was rooting for, oh wait, they lost to the Patriots again.
Oh, I don't even want to hear about it. I'm 0-6. I'm living in cities where the city I'm living in is playing in the Super Bowl. 4 Buffaloes, 1 Atlanta, and now 1 LA.
Jeez, really?
Yeah. Oh, dude, I'm a bad man to have in your Super Bowl town.
But some people are saying that the way you should look at it is that you'll never see anything like this ever again. You'll never see a dynasty like this. 9 times in 19 years.
I hope not.
Right, of course. Even if it was your team, you'd still just wouldn't be too much, right?
I actually asked Josh, the guy that we know that's the Patriots guy, and we're trying not to hold it against him.
Okay.
But I actually asked him in a recent correspondence. He's yet to respond yet, so I don't know his answer to this question. But like, does it get old? Does it get old seeing your team win the Super Bowl every year? Do you start taking it for granted?
I bet.
I don't know. Like, how can you watch regular season football anymore and have any meaning to it? What happens once Brady's gone and now, like...
Well, that's different than now. Is it the, what is it called when it's he fits this, is it a system?
But
or is it Brady?
When it's been 20 years, regardless of either one of them, but once this is over and you're just another team again...
Yeah.
For people that have had 20 years of this, how can football have any meaning after that?
Well, I can't speak to you from the amount of championships, but being from Detroit, the Red Wings made the playoffs for 25 straight years, and we won, I think, 4 cups along the way, which is still, But so we got used to 4 cups.
4 cups is, I mean, in any other scenario, sure, but
no, but I'm just saying that's the closest comparison I can come
that's
to.
what I'm saying.
And I'm saying Detroit fans were spoiled and expected to win and expected to be there every year. So I have to imagine that the Patriots fans have to be that way. I have to. Yeah, you don't get sick of winning. Nobody gets sick of winning when you're winning.
I feel like there's a certain point where now...
Dude, the Patriots, you mix and match, and it doesn't matter who you have. They
sure,
still
but
win.
there's going to be a tomorrow that eventually comes.
No Tom Brady.
Where they're 8-8, or they're just another team.
Yeah.
And when that time comes, how do you care about Patriots football anymore? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah.
For 20 years, we've defined Super Bowl or nothing. Legitimately, that's all it is. And now I'm supposed to, you made the playoffs?
That's how the Red Wings are, too. Now it's like, now we're just hoping they can crawl back to get into the playoffs because it went all that time and the inevitable crash, as New England will crash, too. It's bound to happen. It's not going to go on forever.
I feel like 9.
I thought it was going to be so much. I thought it was going to be so much more fun. That game was interesting to watch, but it was boring and fucking... I'm sorry. It wasn't...
John, we talked about this game on Gratcast previously, actually. I referred to it as the Anaconda game. The Monday night game that Andrea and I froze our asses off at for the Bills, where we were hoping the Patriots would blow them out. And ironically, not only is the local sports guys on Twitter... comparing it, but even in the Super Bowl, I think they put up the stat. The last time the Patriots went 3 quarters touchdown or whatever was against the Bills on Monday night. It was the exact same game. Exact same game. Where the other team looked like crap the entire game long, and you were just happy to be holding the Patriots without a touchdown. But the inevitability of it just hung in the air the entire time. You knew sooner or later Tom was going to get a touchdown, and one touchdown was going to feel like it might as well have been a 20-point lead in the game. And then they were going to tack on one more score to make it a 2-score game in a game where the other team couldn't even score 1. And I've seen that game before. Andrew and I sat in the snow.
13-3.
It's the Anaconda game.
Dude, the Rams scored 33 points on average in the regular season. They scored 3! I know you've experienced it. And then LA's not my team anyway. But it's still like, come on. I just don't get it. I don't understand.
Goff's only his second full year as a starter, and
I get that.
The only other bad game that he had that was that bad was, guess what? Okay. His rookie year against freaking Belichick.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, it was...
Belichick's he's done a lot of amazing things. Showing certain coverages and then changing them after the snap and everything.
You're old enough to remember this. I brought this up during the Super Bowl last night.
What's that?
At what point is, and I hate to have to admit this, but at what point is Belichick so great and his legacy so big that we have to now start questioning how good of a coach Bill Parcells actually was?
If he can do it with another quarterback.
But Bill Parcells, way back in the day, remember Giants head coach?
Mm-hmm.
He coached Cowboys after that. He coached the Jets after that. He coached the Patriots after that. None of them did he have anywhere near the success he had when Bill Belichick was his defensive coordinator.
Right.
It was basically 500 football. Other than that one ad that popped up when I had to reload the iPad. Bill Parcells, basically 500 football when he was coaching without Bill Belichick as his defensive coordinator. So, is Bill Parcells actually a Hall of Fame? Because for whatever people are like,
Oh, that's why you're bringing
Bill Parcells is the
oh.
greatest football coach of all time. Was he really? Or was he just his greatest years were when Bill Belichick, who actually is the greatest football coach of all time, was on his staff, and Bill Belichick was so great back then that even the head coach that was above him at the time benefited from it.
I mean, I can see what you're saying, but then he went to Cleveland, and he didn't do anything.
He had 1 year in Cleveland and was in and out. Didn't have enough time to set up his spy operation. Certainly didn't find a quarterback to run to balance off of what he was doing. So I mean,
How prophetic is it that Tom Brady said, "I'll be the greatest player you've ever drafted" when he was drafted, and he was not wrong. He is 100% correct.
hold up. They all say that.
To the owner?
Come on.
I don't know.
To anyone that'll listen, they're going to say, absolutely, to the GM, all of that. You're never going to regret drafting me. I promise you that.
He didn't say it. He said, "I'm going to be the best ever."
So that Roger that is confirming that we need to start bringing it into our schedule format.
Yes.
So we're taking it towards a commercial break here. With that being said, the rundown for the show today is we got a couple little Gratwick things on the agenda here. Everything's kind of laying a little bit low right now as we line some ducks up.
Yeah.
We're going to talk one of my new favorite shows we've been watching here with all the rain going on, John. We've been binging like madmen. It hasn't been Mad Men. That is a good show.
I was going to say, was it?
We're going to talk about Atlanta. And specifically, the season finale of Atlanta, to me, was a great beat-by-beat story structure that we're going to break down and get into for our main subject today.
That sounds good.
And then I got some sweet bowl of blitzes for you to wrap up the show with.
Surprise me. That's great.
Yep. All right. Esports Labs. It's where the showdown goes down. And coming soon, Esports Labs and Gratwick Gaming is going to be teaming up for weekly tournament series. And I do say 4 as in once a week, every month. These will have cash prizes of up to $250 per tournament. To find out more details, join the Esports Labs experience now at the Esports Labs on Twitter, or jump in their Discord, or jump in the Gratwick Discord, and we'll throw you over to their Discord. Either way, Esports Showdown. It's going to go down.
Did you practice that, son?
Yeah, buddy.
You didn't have a script or anything on that one.
Oh, we were
You must have
freewheeling
practiced.
it.
There's no way.
Freewheeling.
There's no way.
I don't practice.
It sounds good.
John, you know I can't do scripted content.
Yeah, you hide in bushes. We know. We still haven't seen that. You still haven't seen him hide in a bush yet, but I'm assuming one of these days you'll see him hide in a bush,
I'm a
like a
bushwhacker.
little bee,
Hey, yeah,
Bush.
like a little bushwhacker.
like a little bush. That's what I
Exactly.
meant by bee.
All right, John. Let's
Yeah.
get into a couple quick things going on with Gratwick here before we break down Donald Glover's storytelling masterpiece.
Yes, good little Donald Glover.
So, we got to have a brand launch here, John. Gratwick's been around for some time, but Gratwick has never been introduced to the world properly.
And why is that?
Resources primarily, John.
Okay.
I mean, come on.
So how are we going to do that moving forward?
We're some self-made folks here.
Gambino joined.
Oh, Dan Gambino jumping in.
Dan Gambino.
Coat Sox friend here.
What's up, buddy?
So, John,
Yeah.
May 10th.
Yeah, you've got what's going on the 10th.
The brand launch party's going on May 10th, John.
And where is the brand launch going on?
The brand launch party is going on at the Wurlitzer factory. Now, if you heard the name Wurlitzer before, it's probably because the grand pianos, the nicest pianos in the world, are all Wurlitzer pianos. Those were made at the Wurlitzer factory in our hometown.
That actually does sound vaguely familiar.
Wurlitzer pianos, man. They're
I'm not a pianist.
nobody's a pianist other than pianists, But the point is, if you've heard of a piano,
Wurlitzer.
most likely it's a Wurlitzer piano.
Okay, okay.
And way back in the day, they were all Wurlitzer pianos.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And these were made at the Wurlitzer factory, which is right down the street from where my mom lives, in North Tonawanda. And so they were remodeling this whole place.
I was going to say, so you're having it at the factory?
Yeah.
Oh,
dude. They've remodeled this whole place, and there's a brewery in there now. There's a gourmet Planters chocolate store all in there. That's actually a chocolate factory. They're making chocolate.
Oh, chocolate factory.
And then they took
Yummy.
this whole middle section of the factory and they turned it into event space. So it's got a big ballroom. It's got a banquet room. It's got outdoor fire pits. It's freaking gorgeous. So I've been using the picture from the Overlook Hotel from The Shining.
Yeah,
as the kind of the reference point that I want everyone to come in kind of classic old school Hollywood dress up.
Okay.
Like the 20s and 30s to go with the whole revitalization of the factory and all of that.
Nice.
But that's we finally set the venue, and I couldn't be happier with the location, dude. Right in our backyard, hometown. Not only is it Buffalo, but it's North Tonawanda. It's John. It's literally down the street from where Gratwick became where Gratwick is.
Roger that. Sounds good to me.
Hey, so Dan, if you're watching and you want to jump in and join the show here and pimp out a little code socks or something like that, go to gridfam.com/Gratwick. If anyone else wants to jump into the show, we've got it all set up now for guests. You'll pop up here in the box. We'll talk about some stuff, and you'll be on the show.
Join us.
Here, I'm gonna put it up.
Please.
That's what it looks like, but then just stop after
But-
Gratwick.
See, you're just going to confuse people
now
on
he
that.
knows just stop after Gratwick, but that's how you spell it.
I'm
F-A-M, I'm telling you.
I know it's a good. The intention is good, but I'm telling you, people will see it and they're just going to naturally put the whole thing in. It's just Gratwick. Gridfam.com/Gratwick.
Join us.
Oh, you know what I didn't ask the guy at the Wurlitzer factory?
What's that?
If there's going to be a Wurlitzer piano in the
Now, are the Wurlitzers
facility.
also the ones that play themselves? Because I love the self-playing pianos. I'm a huge fan.
Well, I think you just take a regular piano and you hook it up to be a self-playing piano.
I wouldn't know. I don't know anything about pianos.
You know what they're...
Can you play piano?
I absolutely cannot play piano. I could not even play the recorder, John. I am
Stop.
not...
Anyone can play the recorder.
No, not
You
anyone.
can play hot cross buttons. You can do it. It's three.
No.
It's three.
Yeah, sorry, man.
3 holes.
It was almost like a spite thing. I refused to grasp the recorder. So,
Go on.
the pianos. You know what Red Dead Redemption doesn't have? Is a self-playing piano in any of the bars.
No, but it does. It does have actual
The
pianists.
producer is not liking this detour.
What is up with that face? Oh my goodness!
No.
It was like I'm not even like this. It was wow.
We're not gonna go on that tangent unless anybody jumps in the show and really wants to talk
What's
RDR
next,
2.
guys?
So, I mentioned it here in our little teaser promo that popped up a minute ago. But we are working with our Esports Labs guys to put together a tournament series. A weekly tournament series that we're going to add to the Gratwick Gaming schedule. So, John, come March, we're going to be going live 3-4 times a week here now.
Well, that sounds very interesting. 3 or 4 times a week.
Yeah.
Well, fair enough. Okay.
We're going to have Gratcast on Mondays.
Gratcast Mondays. Yeah.
We're going to have Max's Fight Club on Fridays. We're going to have
Oh, you do,
the
yeah.
Esports
That's
Labs
just an hour,
tournaments.
though. How long is the tournament a night?
The tournaments are a couple hours for the E-Labs tournaments.
Yeah, yeah.
Max's Fight Club only lasts an hour.
An hour. It's from like 1 to 2, right?
And 1 to 2 Pacific time
Yeah.
every Friday on Gratwick Gaming, Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, all 9 yards.
Yeah.
And then eventually we're going to add another one of Max's Fight Clubs. That's going to be Pistol Duels. That'll be an extra day of the week that we're going to...
Pistol duels like the high noon draw?
Yeah, the high noon draws right in the main streets.
Yes.
And then I'm sure there's going to be some more tournaments coming with E-Labs. They're adding stuff every single week now.
I like that. I like that a lot. The Fight Club was fun. I'm telling you, it really was. It really was. It was worth checking out.
Oh, dude, he runs a real good show. I was actually very impressed with how organized he is. He's got a bunch of guys that all show up, and it's a solid group of people. I'm hoping we can start organizing it, getting some brackets going so we can have some real winners.
Brackets, wow,
Oh, we
okay.
gotta get some prizes in there, man.
Well, I told you what a good suggestion, in my opinion, was for prizes. If you
What is
just
that?
had the gold bars.
No.
So maybe Max could potentially, depending on how everything works out, or whoever could invest some money, maybe get sponsors or something, maybe something, or even just to start, like invest some money and then hey, $25 to the winner every week, or 25 gold bars to the winner every week. So it's incentive to someone to come and to be the champion, give you something to organize around, because now it's 25 gold bars, which isn't a ton, but it's not the 5 gold bars they gave you because you played for a couple days. So it's a little incentive there.
So, well,
Something like that.
you can't
Just along
transfer
those lines.
gold bars from one character to another, though, can you? So how would we go about giving him?
Maybe you'd have to. Huge nerd. Maybe I love that so much. And maybe you have to just maybe if there's $5 or something, you can credit them on the PlayStation Store so they can buy the 25 gold or however. I mean, there's something to do. I don't have it all worked out. But I mean, the idea though, I like it because
Didn't mean to put you on the spot there.
no, because you can give a potential in-game prize.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure I'd seen maybe another streamer do it. Remember the guy I showed you about the bank robber?
Yep, the bank
I think
robber.
he actually did one for 25 gold, but I didn't see how it was broken down. I didn't see how it actually worked.
All right, John, we're gonna have to look into that.
Yeah, but something maybe just another idea to just moving forward, right? It'll help.
For sure. So one of the other things that Esports Labs is doing for us, we're working on a app for the event, so that people will be able to play mobile games on their phone,
Get
either
out.
at home while they're watching the event,
Oh, I like
or
that.
at the event. And each prize, or so like a normal event has a basket raffle.
Yeah.
Instead of the basket raffle where you make a
Which
blind,
I didn't get at work, just so you know. I missed the raffle. I'll tell you later.
So you submit your bid for the blind basket raffle. Whoever's the highest bidder gets the basket.
Yeah, yeah.
Instead, you would play a different mini game like Super Asteroids or something on your phone, and your score is your ranking for the prize. So you can play as many times as you want to submit as many scores as you want, but whoever's got the highest score at the end of whenever the event or the tournament happens is the person that wins that prize.
Okay.
So, like, one of the ones we're talking about doing for the grand prize is Bill's season tickets. So you'd be able to play and submit a score, and now maybe right now you're the highest score, but somebody else plays 5 minutes later from somewhere else, and now their score submitted, and they're the highest score. So now you got to play again, try and submit another high score, and on and on.
Okay.
But so each one of the different prizes will have their own tournament going on, where whatever score you want to submit for that prize is basically your bid for the prize, and then so you'll be able to you'll have tokens to play the game as many times as you want and submit a score. But each time you play a token, to get the tokens, you either have to like follow one of the event sponsors, or maybe
Oh, yeah. I see where you're going now.
or maybe
sure.
the whoever donated the prize, you got to follow their Twitter, and you get
Clicking a
tokens.
link to this or doing something like
Yes.
that makes sense. Subscribing to this or
Yeah,
that.
and then the meat and potatoes way that they're going to get their coins is by donating to the charity that the event is going to support.
Okay.
So with every so much donations, you get so many coins. The more you donate, the more coins you get on the transaction. So
Yeah.
maybe $5 gets you 5 coins, $20 gets you 30 coins. And
Sure.
so the goal is to be playing against the people at home, playing in the audience for all the different prizes.
And do we know the games that will be available, or we don't know at this point?
They're still working on that.
Okay.
Super Asteroids is definitely going to be one of the
Super
games.
Asteroids, nice.
There's probably going to be a little mini basketball game
Okay.
in there, and then who knows what else they'll have by May. But it should be at least a handful of different games.
Okay.
And boom.
That sounds like a lot of fun. I'm always a fan of when I go places, whether it's an auto show or wherever. An auto show just popped in my head. Just I need something to do, something interactive. Give me something to work with, and it just makes the evening and the event that much more exciting, because it's not like, well, I'm done looking at cars. I'm done looking like this. It's like, what? Oh, sweet. And then you just, I like this guy's page. Okay, cool. I like this company's page. And I can, wow, yeah, okay, cool. And it's just, not that I'm always in my phone, you know that, but I don't want to be bored when I'm out. And sometimes you go to these
Absolutely.
events and you can get bored at times. So you need something
And
to
we
do.
wanted a way that crossed the interaction between the at-home guests and the people actually at the event, and
Yeah.
all of that intermingling. So it creates the kind of interactive competition on both sides of that, where they're kind of competing against each other for the same amount of product.
Yeah, definitely. No, I agree completely. It's every now and then when you're in an event like that too, you kind of need to take a break. Do you know what I'm saying? You just need to kind of take a step back because there is a lot going on, and that's always good. Well, geez, you know what? I just thought about when I said that. That's probably a good time to actually head into our second commercial break, to be completely honest.
There is a lot going on.
There is a lot going on.
I was wondering if you're going to set me up or not,
That's some
John.
716.
You know where else there's a lot of stuff going on, John?
Where's that, buddy?
At Pulp 716. You know why? Because if you love comics and collectibles like we do, Pulp 716 has everything you're looking for and more. From Batman to the Badlands to Boba Fett to Bubble Tea, Pulp 716 is my favorite place to hang out when I'm in Buffalo. They even have that authentic gourmet coffee for cold winter days in western New York. Ever wonder what authentic Roaring 20s roast coffee from 1927 tastes like, John?
A little bit.
Oh, the peak of the stock market. Right before they jumped off the buildings, they were toasting to this coffee, John. Visit Pulp 716 because you're not getting this kind of gourmet coffee at Tim Hortons. And we all know Bonnie isn't bringing it home because she buys shit. So if you want to taste your coffee and find those hard-to-locate comics and collectibles, visit one of two awesome Pulp 716 locations in Lockport and my hometown of North Tonawanda, home of the Wurlitzer factory. Be sure to say hi to our friends and owners of Pulp 716, Amy and Jay Barrett, when you stop by.
They can also accept your Buffalo Star Search applications and nominations.
That's absolutely correct. And
Where
now
will you
until the
look?
launch party, we are still accepting applications and submissions for the Buffalo Star Search program. Hashtag Buffalo Star Search. And those submissions can only be dropped off at the North Tonawanda Pulp 716 location. And if you'd like to find out more about the Buffalo Star Search program, go to GratwickProductions.com/Buffalo Star Search for all the details.
You're getting real good at this, buddy.
Yeah, pal.
You should just read mine, too, and I'll just take a nap while you're doing it.
Absolutely not, man.
Sip my tea.
See, the whole
Yummy.
thing with this type of medium, John, is you have to have multiple voices.
Multiple voices.
Can't be just one the whole time.
But you can make. Can you
Not
change your
Stephen A.
voice?
Smith.
Can you do character voices? Can you do it? Can you be like a gruff guy or something like that, or you want to,
Without it probably coming across as accidentally racist? No.
It's supposed to be Italian.
I'm just saying,
New York.
I'm not saying yours was.
Oh,
I'm just saying, if I try and do some different voice,
Oh.
somebody's going to be like, that's a stereotype. And it's just like, it's just a bad...
Just I don't do good impersonations.
That's why I'm telling you right now.
I thought about going on stage and doing impersonations of me doing impersonations of people. So it would just be me talking like me, doing an impersonation of somebody.
No, don't do that bit.
That's why I didn't do it yet.
Walken. Do a Christopher Walken.
I can't do it walking. That's how it's so unfortunate.
No, don't do that bit.
So unfortunate. Me impersonating you, impersonating me.
Now you're stealing my bit.
What? Your bit? I just came up with that.
Dude, I've done that in like the last 4 episodes in a row.
Okay, well, what else?
Let's go. Hey,
This-
on to the next one.
This is ridiculous. I'm calling the joke police.
You might want to call the joke police.
We need an airstrike.
Airstrike standing by.
Love that.
Oh, scroll the screen.
You want to get in?
That's a horrible laugh. That sounds like a
it's a demonic
twisted
laugh.
Yeah, mine's just a good old fashioned.
You want to get in a sound effect bed?
No, I don't.
Gonna make our producer lose her mind.
But this could be Sparta. Okay, stop pushing the button.
All right, let's charge into our main topic here, John.
Let's go,
Here we go.
bitches.
All right, so I've been forcing Andrea to watch Atlanta this past week while
Yes.
it's been rainy.
Yeah.
And we've pumped through to the season finale of the show. For those that don't know, Donald Glover, probably know most from Community, Childish Gambino, multi-talented. Dude's the bad man when it comes to creativity right now.
Yeah.
So, excellent Lando Calrissian as well. He is.
Oh, he was in the Young Han Solo? I didn't see it.
Oh, absolutely.
I
Yeah,
didn't see it.
he was Lando. He was like the only shining star. And,
Yeah, I bet.
in other words,
I
movie
bet.
that did not happen, John.
Okay. Yes.
So, the
Have you
show.
seen it?
No.
The
We
show.
have it on Netflix. It's on Netflix.
This
I
is
don't- I
not
don't-
going to spin off
It
into
doesn't
a
matter.
solo disaster.
Because I don't want to watch it anyway.
That show is not taking this show down with it.
No.
So, Atlanta.
Atlanta.
Yes, Donald Glover executive produces the show. I've been wanting to watch it forever, and literally I've been saving it for a rainy day.
Oh, okay.
And like 2 days ago, I was like,
A rainy week.
you know what? It's a rainy day.
Yeah.
And start pumping through it. So
And they're only 25 minutes long.
yeah.
There
Oh,
So
yeah.
they're short.
It's a half hour.
It's easier to pound through.
I'd say I'd call it a dramedy, but it's got a lot of different kind of experimental storytelling things and stuff it does. Like there was one episode that was kind of a spoof on like Actors Access, and the whole episode was shot and done that style.
Okay.
There was another one that had like hood commercials and stuff like that. So it's got an ongoing story, but it's also got some different experimentations that certain episodes do.
Okay.
But the season finale for me was like just watching this episode, the way it broke down. It was a great example of an episodic storytelling method that I think people can take from and learn from, especially writers and all that type of stuff, on how it kept the audience guessing at each different kind of turn and every step of the way there. Even once it answered the question that the audience was carrying with them, it went ahead and then created a new question to drag along with it.
Yeah. Yeah, it just that's an excellent way. I always break things down to the very basic. Every single scene, there's something about the scene that captured the viewer's attention to keep it so you wanted to see what happened in the next scene. And it was actually very interesting and it was very well done. I'd never seen the show before. I'd actually never even heard of it, truth be told. And Chris was like, "You got to check it out." So we checked it out, and this is what happened. This was interesting.
So the episode's called The Jacket. And the entire episode is really a build up to a big reveal. So there's 10 episodes over the first season, and it all culminates into this big reveal of something that you're like, wow, I've been watching this character and following along for 9 episodes. I would have never have guessed that what the big reveal is the living condition that they've been on. And before we dive into this season came out 2-3 years ago, I think. It's already won awards and stuff. So, yeah, technically, I guess there's going to be spoilers here. But, like, ideally, this would be something you'd watch after you've watched the show and kind of get it broken down. Or maybe it's something that's going to make you want to watch Atlanta. So, we're not pulling any punches here. We're going to talk about the episode as it happens, working backwards. So, well, actually working forwards.
Forwards, yeah.
So, the whole thing builds up to a big reveal. And then working backwards from that, The episode starts out with Donald Glover's character kind of waking up at a party where all of the friends that he actually knew from the party had already left and were gone. Yeah. So he's like kind of last man to come to at the house while the host is cleaning up. His girl's cranky. She wants to go get something to eat. And first thing he realizes is his jacket's missing. Well, can't find the jacket. Doesn't know what happened to it. And he wants to look throughout the house and all of that, but he's urged to leave the house because the host doesn't want anybody else there anymore. They're sick and cleaning up, and his girl's complaining she wants to go get something to eat. So scene ends with him leaving, and now you're like, well, jacket seems kind of important to him. Was it left at the house? You don't know. And then with the next scene, it goes into... So...
Okay.
Hey, John, where is he at in the story?
We'll review the notes.
No, I realized one of the notes here would kind of undermine the whole thing because how he wakes up at the house is actually a really good foreshadowing element that when the whole thing comes back around at the end, I want to bring up again. So please try to remember the tidbit in the beginning on the foreshadowing and remind me at the end of that.
I'll try.
So the next scene, he immediately, the first lyrics, or the first words of dialogue in the next scene are him calling up one of his buddies and asking him, hey, have you seen my jacket? Do you know where I lost my jacket last night? So clearly there's some importance here, escalating and building with the jacket. His friend says they don't know where the jacket is, so he now goes and decides he's going to retrace his steps to find where the jacket is. So the very first place he goes to find where the jacket was is the strip club that they were at the night before, and maybe left at the strip club.
Yeah.
So at the strip club, there's a bouncer that stops him at the door and won't let him come in to see if the jacket's in the strip club.
That's what they do.
And now the bouncer wants a new cover charge for him to come in. And the character's already been established as he's broke, doesn't have a lot of money and stuff. So it's very clear that he doesn't have any money to give to pay the cover charge to go into here.
Yeah.
So he ultimately ends up ponying up the cover charge because it's so important to him
to get this jacket.
To find out if the jacket's in there.
Yeah.
So this entire scene takes place in the strip club and all of that, but the purpose of it is to once again establish to the audience it's very important to the character that he finds this jacket. He doesn't have a lot of money, but he's still willing just to take the chance that his jacket might be in there.
Yeah.
This is obviously a very important jacket to him.
Yeah.
So next scene after that one, he's now again trying to figure out because jacket wasn't in the strip club. So he leaves the strip club, starts checking his buddy's social media, and his buddy Snapchatted the whole rundown from the night before. They're at partying, they're in the back of an Uber, they're at the strip club.
He sees himself in the jacket.
Yep. And he sees himself riding in the Uber to the strip club in the jacket, but then sees in the strip club that he doesn't have the jacket on. So he figures maybe he left the jacket in the Uber.
In the Uber, right.
So he goes and meets up with his boy that actually ordered and paid for the Uber, uses his phone to call up the Uber driver, and the Uber driver confirms, yes, I have your jacket. You've got to come to me and pick up the jacket. So now he's hunted down the jacket. His buddies give him a ride. They go to the Uber driver's house, and they're there waiting for where they're supposed to meet the Uber driver.
Now, wasn't he also... He's got to pay like $50 too, doesn't he?
No,
so
the Uber driver wanted $50 for him to bring the jacket to
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
I got confused.
He didn't have enough money, so they had to go pick it up.
That's why they went to go pick it up. Okay, I thought it's $50 and you got to come get it.
No. That was if
okay.
the Uber driver drove it to him.
Okay.
So they're here waiting for it, and his buddy kind of sniffs out an ambush. He's like, something doesn't feel right, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. This isn't the right situation. So they go to pull out and leave, and all of a sudden the vans pull out, the streets block, cops have all the guns drawn, and they're pulling him out of the car and got him up against the hood and everything. As they're talking to these guys, trying to figure out what they're doing in the neighborhood and all of that, the Uber driver comes running out of the house and hauls ass across the front yards down the street. And it turns out the Uber driver was actually who the SWAT team
was looking for.
Was looking to ambush on.
And he's wearing the jacket.
Yeah, he's wearing the jacket, and now whatever the hell the Uber driver did that was so bad, they open fire on the Uber driver, and they light him up.
Oh, yeah.
Just kill him.
Shred the jacket, kill him, it's done.
Yeah. So now you're as the audience, you're like, oh man, this jacket that was so important to the characters, they're looking for the whole thing and all that. Now it's cut over to bullet holes and the jacket's ruined.
Right. So you feel for this guy.
Absolutely. So now the cops are standing over the body. They're starting to cordon off the area as a crime scene and all of this. And Donald Glover comes up to the cop that just killed the guy, and he's trying to ask him, well, can you search the pockets? And it wasn't actually the jacket that he wanted. Now that the jacket's been ruined, the attention shifts focus to what was in the jacket. And so he asked the cop, oh, can you check the jacket? I had something important in the pocket. So the cop quickly checks the pockets and comes up there, and there's nothing in there. And Donald Glover wants to tell him that there's a secret little zip pocket in there. I think it's in there, but the cops don't want to hear it. They're shoving him off. Get the hell out of here! You're going to get arrested.
Right.
So now he has to leave the scene, still wondering, is what I needed, what was important to me, in the pocket.
But so now the viewer knows that the jacket isn't important at all. But now you want to know what's in the pocket. Like, what's so important it was in the pocket that he needs? That he would tell the police while they're searching a dead body to tell them, hey, I know you're searching a dead body, but can you search the pockets for me real quick? That's my sweatshirt, or my jacket. I need it. What's in the...
So again, the importance of whatever it is that's in there is raised again. And then the very next scene is him riding home with his two buddies trying to console him, man, sorry about your jacket. Because they think it's just like his jacket that he was trying to find that was important to him.
Yep.
So, and then Donald Glover's character's like, it's not about the jacket. So we know there's something that he's lost that's very important to him.
Yeah.
So...
Got some notes. Thankfully, he took them all.
Put some notes for this episode, John. Did our homework here.
Big smiles. Big smiles.
So, all right. So now the audience is left hanging, wondering what was in the jacket. What was in the jacket? And it looks like he gets screwed. It's not good at all. He's not happy. he's hanging out with his girl at her place, and it's made clear that he doesn't stay there, but he's there off and on because they share a kid together.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point in time, one of his buddies stopped by, knocks on the door, and says, "Hey man, here's this key you asked me to hang on to last night because you were pretty messed up and you didn't want to lose it." And we find out this is the key that he's been looking for the whole time. It wasn't about the jacket; it was about the key that he thought was
Who
in the
had
jacket.
it?
One of his buddies that he was out with the whole night. It was actually his work buddy that was separate from his other two friends that he asked to help.
I remember the line. He's like, "Oh, you outsmarted yourself again."
Yeah. So this super important key, he's now relieved and finds the key. And it all kind of builds up to now, what is the key unlock? So
Really?
each time the question gets answered, why is the jacket important to him? Because what's in the key? Now you got another question again. Well, because there was something in the jacket. Then you find out what was in the jacket. It was a key. Now you got another question again. What's does the key
for?
unlock? So the very end of the episode, he gives some money to his baby's mama that his cousin that's a rapper and he's doing manager for gives him to, and leaves some money with her to help for the kid that they're both raising together. Yeah. And she says, if you want, you could spend the night here. And I from my interpretation of it, what I think is the most real, because he gave her the money to help take care of the kid and all of that, he doesn't want to make it feel like he's obligated or she's obligated to let him stay there
right.
and be there and all of that. So instead, he keeps his pride and keeps the boundaries and chooses to leave. Mm-hmm. So the final scene, he's walking. Then he goes and unlocks a storage locker with the key, and that's what the key for the whole time was the storage locker. And we find out after 10 episodes of following this character, all of the life and everything that he's doing, they lives out of a storage locker.
Which is crazy, because you just had me watch that one episode, and I didn't even see it coming. So it was very well written. It was well put together. I wasn't hanging on the edge of my seat, but I was definitely I was with it the whole way. I was on board.
Yeah, but I thought it was a great storytelling dynamic on how they kept a question hanging in the air. Then they answered it, and it just created another question that all was still threaded and tied together. Mm-hmm. That ultimately, what the storyteller really wanted you to know was that the character lives out of a storage locker and still has his pride and all of that intact.
It reminds me of an onion. It's got layers. That story had a bunch of different layers. Every time you answered a question, a new layer, and then you found out lives in a storage unit.
Kind of like a Russian doll.
Kind of like Russian doll.
Apparently, that's a pretty serious movie on Netflix right now, John.
I didn't even know what you were talking about.
Oh, yeah. All right, John, we're going to take it to our next break here. We're going to tee you up for a little Max's Fight Club. I'm hoping you personalize this one. Now you got to...
I mean, a little bit. Not too much, but a little bit.
Now that you got a little taste for Bloody Knuckles.
We'll see. All right.
Don't forget to tell the folks that time's wrong.
All right, that time is wrong. Folks, no, I've said it all. Let's hit it. If you're a Red Dead Online player like me and looking for something a little more personal than shooting random pink dots in the back, then come join Max's Fight Club. Every Friday afternoon at 1 p.m. Pacific, Max brings together all the finest ladies and gents from across the map in a no-shirts-allowed bare-knuckle brawl. Ladies must wear shirts. If you have what it takes and you've got a PS4, and most likely you do if you know anything, then add that Max Guy 15 for your invite to the next Fight Club. And if you're too scared to get your virtual knuckles bloodied, then join Gratwick Gaming for the live broadcast, commentary included.
Nicely done. Nicely done, John. Okay.
You said nicely done, John, right? John,
I did while biting my tongue, but thank you both for calling me out on it.
Well, it sounded like you said John, and I don't like that name.
I said nicely done, John.
He said John.
That's what I thought he said, and I don't like it.
Well, I keep calling Joe John anyway, so
Kennedy?
it's a mess over here.
We don't have to get into it.
All right, so we are heading to our favorite part of the show.
But will it be? That's the question.
Discord question! But we have no Discord questions.
Oh.
This week everyone has been
That's
busy with the polar vortex.
That's a sad horn for the Discord questions. And unfortunately, our setup here for guests to come and join the show.
Nope.
The power cable died on us here, John.
Dope. That's technology.
It was plugged in, but it didn't stay charged.
I don't get that.
So there it is.
Okay.
Well, what I am gonna
List the
fill,
bullets.
what I am gonna fill Discord question period time with is
Uh-oh.
a little news on the guest front. So Cash Covey has
Good old Cash
volunteered to come in studio for an entire episode of Gratcast coming soon, John.
Oh, wow. Wow, very nice.
And next week, one way or the other, we're gonna have a guest.
Even if it's Bear.
We're gonna have Bear in the other
Bear
room,
in a chair.
Bear in the other room on the phone. So he's
Yeah, that's right.
right here.
Well, Bear live in the studio, sitting on a chair.
So why don't you look into one of your peoples,
I'll ask again.
see who's ready to go,
I'll inquire, yeah.
and I'll look for who we've got coming, and get this guest train rolling.
Yeah. It was kind of soon from last week to this week when I got in touch with people. They weren't really. I said, I just said it doesn't have to be this week. Just like let's.
Well, the hope was
forward.
to start with guests next week as Cash Covey is our first guest.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, Cash is set up on the Apple systems, and our guest system is strictly on the PC or Android devices.
The whole
right
thing
now.
should be on PC. I've been saying that the whole time. Sorry, I'm just saying. Most people stream PC.
Well, we're doing PC setup here now, but the system, the gridfam.com, only works with Android or PC devices right now. So
Yeah.
Cash
unfortunate.
Covey isn't able to be in next week through the digital method. So that's why he's going to ultimately have to come physically in studio.
In a
we have to
future
find
episode.
Yep, and we're going to have to
Okay.
find a replacement guest for next week. That's
Okay.
That's how that all went
Now,
down.
does the guest have to? It could just be anyone at this point. It doesn't have to be somebody.
No, we just want
biz.
somebody in the box. Somebody in the box to talk to, John.
Somebody in the box. What's in the box?
Yeah, so like each week we could have a mystery game of who's going to be in the box. That could be a new bit, John.
Who's in the box?
Who's in the
You
box?
could have them talk a little bit.
And just
We
like
found a soundbite for that.
yeah, absolutely, because it's from
Seven.
yeah, it's from 7. But just like in 7, it would actually be a head in the box.
Yes, exactly. Or we could surprise people and put the head in the box.
Oh, Tim.
Tim.
We could have him just be a random guest until there's a real guest.
Yeah, we could have Andrea voice him.
All right, it's time to get into the bullet blitzes here.
Is it really already?
And it looks like we're going to bring the show in right on time here today.
Do a crash landing.
That's what happens when there's a dead chat.
That's okay. It happens. Don't worry about it, everyone. Everything's okay. It's all right. We're moving forward. I'm gonna go first. I'm gonna go first.
Crickets here for the chat? I don't even have crickets.
I got crickets here. Everyone, just hold on because I got a million buttons to go through, as you all know at this point. I'm horrible at it.
That's a shout out to the chat.
It sounds about right.
All right, John.
All right, that worked out perfectly. So, let's see. So basically, you guys,
Whoa. Where's the bullet blitz sound effect?
I already did it.
Then buried it with a bunch of other sound effects. That can't be. That has to be the last sound effect before you do your part. In other words, you just overstamped your stamp.
Can somebody please come work this damn soundboard? Okay, here we go.
There we go.
Moving forward. I wish there was some background music.
official now.
Put some
Listen.
background music on.
I'm listening.
Perfect. So I introduced you to the show First We Feast. I just did it. I literally
You did.
just before we came on.
Literally.
Like a minutes before.
Seconds.
It's a good show. I like it. It's fun. It's funny. Having seen an episode already, the question becomes, and this is going to be tough because if you haven't seen it at home, well, then you should see it. First We Feast. You can look it up on YouTube. Very funny. We watched the Gordon Ramsay episode. Very funny. Having seen the episode already, do you like the format? Probably not the question you thought I was going to ask. Do you like the format?
Yeah, it's interesting.
The format is this. I'll break it down real quick because I know we're actually working on schedule for real this time now. So, it's 10 hot sauces. The host gets 10 wings. The guest gets 10 wings, each cooked in the barbecue sauce. Or the hot sauce, rather, not barbecue. And each one gets hotter and hotter. And each question, or each time you take a bite of a new wing, a new question is asked, and you just go forward like that. And that's how it breaks down. Clearly, it gets hotter and hotter. Noses start to run. Things happen. And it's interesting. So that's the breakdown. But so you like the format? It's pretty basic, but it really seems to do the job, right?
Yeah, it's something out of the ordinary that makes it interesting and also gets the guest off guard. And,
Yeah, because that hot sauce gets them off guard.
oh yeah,
Big time.
yeah. So
Big time.
you're guaranteed
It's
to get
fun.
out of the box answers as opposed to just sitting down chatting.
Yeah. Oh, Charlize Theron, hers was great too. I didn't realize she was such a foul-mouthed woman. She's foul-mouthed.
Apparently, Coolio had a experience.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They talk about Coolio. They haven't heard from Coolio since.
That's what
We'll have to check that
that's
out.
what I want to watch.
But seriously, you get the opportunity. Check it out. You got to check out First We Feast. It's a lot of fun. I definitely like the format too. Just to answer that simple question. So I don't even have your question up here, but let's go.
What is one movie or book that you wish had a sequel or remake?
Oh, a book or a movie? Gosh, you shouldn't have dropped that on a bomb like me. I got to think now because it's got to be a movie that doesn't have the remake or the sequel, right? It's got to be one that stands alone at this point,
Or it hasn't had anything done with it in a long time.
Gosh, you're gonna have to go first on this one. Give me something. I'm struggling.
Okay. I will admit that I did not properly prepare for this with an answer for myself. but I will choose...
Well, I don't feel so bad.
I will choose V, even though the storyline is a slightly beaten horse at this point. But I feel like it still hasn't been done to its fullest extent the right way. Like the '80s one was super cheesy,
But I like the '80s one.
And
I
then
liked it.
I did too. That's why I think
Yeah.
it can be done better.
Yeah.
And then the one where I was like, oh, finally they're going to do it better. They just stood in front of green screens every episode, and that didn't do it for me either. So I like the IP, but I don't feel like it's been delivered correctly yet.
Okay. I think I got what you're okay. There's Marvel owns. I don't know if Marvel owns the rights, but to the Fantastic Four. Okay, that movie it's like the redheaded stepchild of Marvel for some reason. I don't know why. So Sony has the rights to it for some reason, so Marvel can't use it. So every time the rights are going to wear off of it, someone makes a shitty ass cheesy movie with no budget, so they can keep the rights. And then it's just a shit show. Have you ever seen any of the Fantastic Four movies? They all suck. It needs a true reboot to be like a really good movie because it
Was
can
there
be a
one
good
with Chris
movie.
Evans in it?
Yeah, he was the Human Torch in one.
Where he was like, ooh, I am hot. Or something like that.
Yeah. He was supposed to
you're
be.
hot. And
He was
he's
the
like,
human.
"Thank you."
He was the Human Torch before he was Captain America.
Yeah.
But that one can get a true reboot. That one I think needs horribly, movie wise. Book wise, I don't know. I don't know of any books that could use that. So we're not even going to play around here. We're just going to keep moving. Boom, boys. Okay. So this is how I phrase this. This is how I phrase this. I'm on the hunt for some DMT, and I am on the hunt for some DMT. I know it sounds weird.
Just putting that out there,
I'm putting it out there. Would you ever? My question is right to the point. Would you ever try DMT? Does anyone know what DMT is, other than the people that are sitting in this room?
See, here's what I'm not sure of. Is there a difference between DMT and ayahuasca?
I believe DMT is a chemical that's within ayahuasca, and ayahuasca is naturally from certain countries, certain creatures, I think. But
So
we
would
have
ayahuasca just be the
DMT.
tea
We have
the tea
DMT
that-
inside of ourselves, though. We release it. That's what our pineal gland is for. So supposedly when you have near-death experiences and weird things happen, supposedly, that's your pineal gland, and it's releasing the DMT to show you things. I don't know what, because I haven't had the opportunity, but I've been doing some research, and there's some very interesting, I'm telling you, very interesting things about reality and how I watched a video where someone just described how it felt like their body, like first a finger came off, and then another finger, and then they just kind of slowly they were no longer their body, and they were just like a ball of light floating through. It was just the weirdest thing. I can't even go into it. There was so much, but they call it like the God molecule or the God particle or something like that, because everyone who experiences the DMT, it slightly changes them. You see a reality that you've never expect. Supposedly time works different as well. Someone was saying that they thought like they were gone for like years, and they came back and they were 15, 20 minutes. I think is the whole experience when you smoke it, so it's not that long. I think when you do the ayahuasca, I believe it's maybe a 4 to 6 hour experience, but I think you've also got like a spirit guide with you or someone.
Yeah,
when you're literally doing that, someone to help guide you through it.
Yeah.
So, but I want to try it. I
And most
can't
people
wait.
usually end up hurling from the ayahuasca tea or whatever it is.
Sure, but once you throw up, then it starts to work.
Sure.
Much like a mushrooms. If you take mushrooms, some people throw up the mushroom, and once they throw up, then they start tripping. So it's very similar.
I actually was invited to join a secret underground ayahuasca circle
Oh,
once upon a time.
oh,
And I was Uber driving. I drove somebody to LAX, and we ended up talking about ayahuasca the whole way. And I was like, "Oh man, I'd love to do the tea and go to Peru and do the whole experience and all that." And he's like, "Well, actually, we've got this this group where like every so often the ayahuasca spirit leader or whatever comes into Malibu, and we do a whole weekend thing, and they've got the tent set up, and you eat like first class food all weekend long, and
and then you take the ayahuasca and throw it up.
yeah, take the ayahuasca." And I'm like, "Oh man, that sounds freaking amazing!"
It does.
He's like, "Oh, well, let me take your email, and put you on the email
Yeah,
list."
yeah, okay, that sounds good.
Perfect, sweet. Less than a week later, I get my email. "Hey, the big ayahuasca weekend's coming. $500 a person. All weekends taken care of.
Well,
you got
500's not the end of the world, I suppose, right? Not the end.
No, it's not the end of the world. But with a 7-day notice, when you're broke as piss, like
Yeah, 7 days is not a good.
I need a little more time to budget friendly for this.
So did you respond saying like, "I appreciate the offer, but this is just a little too soon. My funds are a little messed up"?
Yeah, I think that's where I screwed up. Is I did respond, and I said, "It's not enough notice. Can you hit me up for the next one?"
And that was it.
And I think that was the tall tale to people that money is no object. That this guy, money is an object, clearly. And I never got another invite.
Oh, really?
Never.
That's such a shame. I would have loved to have heard the actual story.
Never sent me another
But
ayahuasca invite.
I'll attempt to share the story if I actually do it. I'm told it's so much happens and there's so much to.
How about you share the story of the attempt to go do some stand-up, John? Last week you told us you were going to get up.
Yeah, I didn't. That's why I didn't bring it up. But thanks for bussing me. But you need to call me. Keep calling me out.
When are we going to go? Like
calling me out.
Tony says he's ready. Let's do 3-man.
Oh, you've talked to Tony? He's ready to go?
That's what he said on Team Chat.
Oh, team chat for what? Oh wait, we can't talk about it. The game that shall not be named.
The game that shall not be named.
But okay, yeah.
Oh, Darren's checking in the chat. We got
Is he?
Darren sighting late into the show here.
What does that say? I can't read it.
It says, "What a deal." I think he's talking about the ayahuasca steal.
Oh. I don't know. Darren, would you try DMT?
Oh,
Would you be bold enough to try DMT?
I think that.
I'd be interested. Now I'm waiting to see his response. He's probably not even responding.
Okay, so
delay.
moving
Let's
on.
move forward.
Moving on to my bullet blitz.
Yeah, hang on. I
While
have
we
to
wait
push
for
this button.
Darren's response.
Here's
in
the
the chat.
button.
Oh, I'm not going to do it without my sound effect.
Cool.
Elon Musk released the patents for Tesla this week for the common good of humanity.
Darren's talking to you.
Okay.
Okay.
You just talked over the host
you
reading
don't-
their bullet
you
blitz
don't-
question.
Talking to people.
See, Darren knows the price. It's good.
Only 500.
500's a going rate.
There you go. He knows.
500's a going rate for ayahuasca.
I did a show last Valentine's Day. What does that even mean?
I'm guessing that Darren
Did some DMT at a show? No.
No, I think Darren's saying that one of the reality shows that he was doing probably around Valentine's Day last year
May have had the DMT.
was centered around ayahuasca. Or
Oh,
something.
ayahuasca. Oh,
Something like that.
Oh, okay.
that's-
We'll talk
that-
about this tomorrow when I call you, Darren.
That's what I'm guessing he's going for. Is that he did camera,
He's like, I don't know what it is. He just joined.
he did camera work for an ayahuasca ceremony or something
Or
like
some
that.
shit.
Where they're paying probably my people.
Yeah, probably 500. Yeah, he's like, hey, it's cheap. He knows.
I didn't know they were bringing in the reality TV cameras for the ayahuasca party.
Yeah, hey, you never know. Everyone's got to learn. Everyone's got to learn and grow.
So-
I'm only pushing it one more time.
Back to my bullet blitz.
Let's go.
Elon Musk released the patents for Tesla this week for the common good of humanity. How do you feel about patent laws, and what patent would you like to see released?
I mean, I do like the idea of patents because it's like you should get something for inventing what you invent. I mean, that's the whole idea of the patent. So if I invent electricity and then I patent how to get the electricity, Well, I mean, assuming I actually invented electricity, I would want it. If I invented a artificial intelligence or a walking monkey robot or something, whatever.
Monkey robot.
I don't know. I'm sorry. So I don't know. But I would want.
Are you currently working on one of these?
I would want credit for that. It doesn't throw its own poop, folks, so you don't have to worry about that. It just throws bananas.
I might steal
so
the
you
prototype.
can slip on them. Right. But that's the whole point. Without the patents, you could just take it and say it was yours, and then you would get credit for it. So I like the idea of the patents. I just don't know
You got clarification.
how.
Darren did stand-up last Valentine's Day. What is everybody we know is a fucking stand-up comic now?
Darren, yeah. I've done it once, too. I must have told you, Darren. It was a few months back.
Now I feel like I'm just a follower if I go and do it.
But now I'm trying to develop a bit. Now I'm trying to develop a character without even going up. I gotta just go up. Anyway,
Shit.
yeah. So
if all you bums have flamed out, the odds are good. I might be the one then.
yeah, you never know. So patent. I actually have a friend back in Michigan who I think is a patent lawyer, I believe. If you ever see this, Jeremy, what's up, bruh? So, but patents. I love the idea that the right people get credit for it and get the right accreditation, whatever the word I can't think of, but credit. I'll say that again. It's because it's important. I just don't like it when you don't get it. But it seems to get tied up. Like patents, like, well, now all this patent law it's messed up, right? Like patents can be. It's not as simple as you'd think.
There's a lot.
Getting a patent it's a lot of work to get a patent, right?
Yeah, and they can just deny it because they don't want to, and then keep the patent.
Right.
Like you sent in all of your IP.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, we're not going to give you a patent for that, and then the government will turn around and file a patent itself for the exact same thing.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of that. Some people think that the entire purpose of the patents is so that the government knows all the different things that are out there, so they can take it. Like 6 to 1, half a dozen the other, but. I think there's got to be a limitation on the monopolizing of a patent. So, like, kind of what Elon Musk's point was to the whole thing was, I thought there was gonna be a lot of stiff competition for electric engines and things like that, and there really isn't. And at the end of the day, when it comes down to, even if everyone's making electric engines, it's still going to be what kind of style car you make, the quality of the car, the luxury elements and all that, same as it is for gas-driven cars now.
Yeah.
So there's no point in hoarding that type of technology and making it far more difficult for anyone else to get into the electric engine game, and not just have that be the universal element.
Well, he made his money, so it's like, I made my billions, I might as well share now because I've $1 billion. You go for and he's going to die before he can spend it all anyway. So you might as well share it with everyone else. You got what you need out of it.
But what they could do is they could maintain that edge or that lead over the electric vehicle market for the foreseeable future. And
yes, as a company, I'm saying as an individual, he maybe came to that decision. I got all I could out of this. Like, let's be honest, I could milk more, but who likes the milkman? I do. I don't even know where that came from. But anyway, yeah, he could milk it, but he's sharing, and I think that's a good thing. I'm spittling. I'm all over the place here.
Oh, this whole episode's a spittle.
Okay.
Just falling apart.
Patents.
Andrea has not stopped shaking her head since we kicked it. we kicked this spittle off.
Come on. I know, she's never happy.
We need to call her.
Seriously, you know, I think we really need. Wait for it.
Did you have a final?
It was at
bullet?
this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
No, I only had 2 bullet blitzes. That's what we go down to. Let's go. You're an idiot. You know who else is an idiot? This whole thing. You got any final words?
Yep.
What would you say you do here?
Hey.
You can be my wingman anytime.
Duh. Winning.
All right, John.
You could be mine.
Next week, we definitely will have somebody in the box. Yeah, buddy.
Yep.
Do it! Just
that's the wrong
do
button.
it! Yesterday, you said tomorrow.
All right, let's
Just do it!
Let's move.
I apologize for nothing.
Oh, yeah. Well done.
We're cooked. Oh, that was great that Darren popped in. Good job, Darren, if you can still hear
we
us.
should have had him try to come in the box. He would have totally done it.
Oh, he's got a note, too. He doesn't have an apple. He's from Detroit.
Oh, he would have totally done
Well, he
it.
could be our first guest next week.
Yeah, talk to you about that.